Ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Monday. Hope you're all doing well. Chris Phillips here, the Daily Crow, the Spurs Up Show. Appreciate you all tuning in. We have got a packed Monday. First things first, happy Labor Day, by the way, to you all, those who may have the day off, whatever you may be doing, whether you're on the water, you're watching football, you're chilling, you're hanging out, whatever it is, folks. Appreciate you all tuning in. Like I said, we've got a lot to get into, taking your questions, your comments, your calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Very excited to chat with you here on this Monday. I see John Kruger, Nick Renfro, Jeff Sweat, Chance, Carolina Titan, Tanner Land, David Garrick. What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Travie, Todd Smith. Also, if you're in the Big Cock Club Discord, head over to TDC Questions, the TDC Questions channel, to be sure that your questions are answered. Again, I apologize. I feel like my voice is kind of leaving me here on a Monday. I guess that's the result from yelling and screaming over the weekend. But either way, guys, again, appreciate you all tuning in. Got a lot to get into here on Monday and very, very excited to chat with you all, guys. Again, taking your questions, your comments, and your calls, 843-790-3377. Yes, we are live here. The Daily Crow is live on Labor Day. I got a lot of questions about Chris. Are you going to be live on Labor Day? Are you taking the day off? And I'll tell you this, and I totally understand it's Labor Day. People have the day off, and that's great. But I just view it as I did not spend the entire preseason counting down to college football just to take the first Monday off, especially when it is a victory Monday. Absolutely not. I'm like, there's no way on no planet would I ever consider taking a day off. So again, guys, very excited to chat with you here today. Again, it is Labor Day. So again, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're enjoying the day however you see fit. But again, really excited to talk with you guys as we break down everything from over the weekend. The Gamecocks 46-0 win as the Shane Beamer era gets going in very, very, very dramatic fashion and really gets going in style under the lights at Willie B. Guys, before we get into everything, we got a lot to get into. I want to tell you about our friends over at Dason and Schlaby Law Firm, because the Daily Crow is presented to you by our friends at Dason and Schlaby Law Firm. Guys, they're young but experienced and aggressive attorneys. They're both former prosecutors who used to represent insurance companies but switching sides. They both worked at larger law firms where they represented hundreds of clients at a time. And guys, they both left to start their own law firm because they understand you're not just a line item, you're not just a number, you're a real human being, and you should be treated as such. They're a small boutique law firm that treats their clients like family. They're going to know who you are and treat you like a client and not a number. They handle injury cases that arise from car accidents and work accidents. Guys, do not try to take on the insurance company yourself. You've been involved in any type of accident, no matter what it is. The last thing you should be worried about is dealing with the paperwork and dealing with the insurance company. Let the experts over at Dason and Schlaby Law Firm handle it for you. They use the latest technology to make representation efficient and effective. Again, let them take care of everything for you. You don't even pay them unless they recover money for you. Rami's in Columbia, Curtis in Charleston. They handle cases statewide. They also offer virtual or in-person consultations at no charge. Guys, give them a call today in Columbia, 803-973-0304, or in their Somerville location, 843-388-3368. Or, of course, guys, your one-stop shop, their website, dsinjurylaw.com. That is dsinjurylaw.com for more information. Again, guys, they're friends over at Dason and Schlaby Law Firm. Be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. All right, 843-790-3377. Guys, it's 843-790-3377. By the way, I don't know if anybody noticed or said anything, but how about our new addition right here to the backdrop? We got a little mini helmet now in the backdrop. I figured, you know what? It's not baseball season. It is football season, so why not, in the spirit of football season and in the spirit of 1-0, switch it out for the football helmet. We'll bring back the baseball and the bat when we get back to baseball season, but figured why not? We've got the – also, I do want to shout out my guy that hooked me up with that, Donnie Cunningham, DS Sports Marketing, I believe it is, on Facebook. My guy, Donnie Cunningham, we actually shared the post over the weekend, guys. If you are interested in signed memorabilia, whether it be helmets, pictures, whatever, they've got signed stuff from this. This helmet's actually got Nick Muse's signature on the other side. Debo Williams, DeCarrion Joyner, they ran an event over the weekend where they got a ton of stuff signed. So if you are interested in that, if you're interested in getting some signed memorabilia at a really, really fair price, Go check out our social media on Facebook. Donnie Cunningham is his name against DS Sports Marketing. I'm going to confirm that right now. I believe it's DS Sports Marketing. Yes, DS Sports. DS Sports. And again, just a really, really good buddy of mine. He's not really even paying me to say this, but I want to help him move some units. Again, great pieces for any Gamecocks fan. It's at DS Sports Marketing on Facebook, DS Sports Marketing. And again, we have shared the post before, guys. Like I said, they have a ton of Simon memorabilia, helmets, footballs, pictures, all that good stuff. So definitely check them out. Again, 843-790-3377, guys. It's 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, your comments, and your calls as well. And again, of course, anytime you're on a Victory Monday, you're coming off of a big win, there is a lot to get into and a lot to talk about. Again, appreciate you all tuning in. Luke RJ says, where'd you get the cocky next to the helmet? I actually got this at Adams Bookstore. They've got them for sale at Adams. I think they're like in a huge bin or whatever, but it's just a plush cocky. It's nothing crazy. They've got those available though. Yeah, at Adams Bookstore. I'm sure all over the place in Columbia, but I got that specifically at Adams. I live pretty close to there, so just stop by and boom, there you go. Let's see. Let's head over to TDC Questions. The TDC Questions channel of the Big Cock Club Discourse says, after his game Saturday, this comes from Elvis DMD. Great to meet you, by the way, Saturday, Elvis, and great to meet so many of you, by the way, over the weekend. Elvis DMD says, after his game Saturday, do you see Bell being a star for the future of Gamecocks football? Only time will tell, but I mean, I said this in the preseason. That, I thought Jaheim Bell had the opportunity to be this year's Kevin Harris, and what I meant by that was a guy that maybe you didn't have all the expectations, especially nationally, especially within the conference, but somebody who could be a household name by the end of the season. And I think you saw why on Saturday. I mean, the guy's just got a skill set. He's extremely athletic. He's a matchup nightmare, especially when he's at tight end. I think Jaheim Bell definitely is going to be a go-to guy for us this year. There's no question. Let's see. Jordan Smith, what's going on? Brennan M, big 1-0 energy. Yes. Tyler Knoll says, if healthy, Luke Doty is QB1. There is no question about that. And yes, that's going to be a conversation all week long. Shane Beamer saying last night he is not going to name a starting quarterback until the day of the South Carolina ECU game this Saturday, which, listen, I think is a smart move. What's the point? I know selfishly as fans, we want to know who the starter is. We want to wrap our arms around the guy, but why give ECU anything ahead of time to prepare for? Make them prepare for everything. Make them prep for Dak Joyner and Luke and Zeb and everybody else, really. So I totally understand the move. I totally get why Shane Beamer's doing it, but certainly that's going to be conversation. Certainly would love to hear your thoughts, guys, obviously on the game, but also who do you think should start Saturday? We're going to be talking about that all week long. Justin Kyle says, do you think the running game struggles at times since we couldn't run the read option with Doty and Eastern Illinois could sit on the running back? Justin, again, that was something that definitely stood out to me as a concern and something I think's got to get a lot better. Obviously, going week 1 to week 2 is the offensive line and just run blocking as a whole. The stats look good. We ran for 254 yards, but you take away Zaquandre White's long 67-yarder or whatever it was. It's not like we were dominant up front. And EIU is a team you should have been dominant against. I mean, it's only going to get tougher. EIU, I would venture to say, is probably the worst defensive front you're going to see this entire football season. So it was a little bit of a concern watching the offensive line. It was a little bit of concern seeing them struggle against those guys. But I do have a good feeling the offensive line is going to get better. I do have a feeling you've got the players up there. You've got the experience. It's not like some of the other positions where you just don't really have the depth, that you feel like you don't really have the guys. Those guys up front are pretty much proven. I mean, it's a group 4 or 5 from last year that paved the way for the 1,000-yard season that Kevin Harris had. So I think they'll come together. I don't know what it was. On Saturday night. They really just never got it going. But, yeah, they got to be better because you've got to be able to run the ball, bottom line. I think we saw on Saturday wide receivers are what we thought they were. They are what we thought they were. They are a major question mark for this football team, which is totally fine, but that's sort of what we expected. And, I saw some nice things. I saw some nice things from Josh Vann and the potential of maybe he can be a number 1 option for you. But outside of that, I think we'd all agree the wide receiver position is a deficiency right now. Until somebody else steps up, until we see some other guys. I mean, your leading receiver Saturday night was a running back, Zaquandre White. That does not make me feel all warm and fuzzy when it comes to the passing game in this 2021 football season. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. Justin Kyle, here's a very harsh comment, but there might be some validity. He says, I'm kind of over the Dak experiment. He's just not good enough. Sorry. Guys, if you really want to be harsh about it and truthful, I think Dak, again, has a skill set, no doubt, but he's a quarterback playing wide receiver. That's just the reality. I mean, the guy's not a receiver by trade. He's a quarterback. And so, he's out there because he has great athleticism. He has agility. He has quickness. But is he a great receiver? No, probably not. Probably not. I'd love to be proven wrong, but probably not. We actually got a couple of texts here. We've got a couple of texts here. Here's a great question. Why wasn't the projected first-round draft pick R.J. Roderick dressed or even on the sideline Saturday? I didn't see him. Did you? Nothing about an injury. Eric, from what I heard, my people told me he was suspended. He was one of the 5 that was suspended for the game on Saturday night. Again, that was something that I didn't feel the need to tweet or bring up. Just kind of focused on the guys that are on the field. Don't even worry about who's not playing, who's suspended, who messed up, whatever. But from what I heard, he was one of the 5 suspended. So that's why you didn't see him out there. So take it for what it's worth. Sit Dog 9, do you think Luke will start Saturday or is Zeb better than expected? I want to get into that in just a second because I'm going to go on a bit of a rant. I want to get to the questions first, but that's going to be a little bit of a long-winded answer, but I promise I'm going to get to that here in just a second. Back to TDC questions. TDC questions, Elvis DMD says, with Joyner's 3 drops and a catch against this defense, should we transition to another starter? Sorry, sent that as you asked the other question. No, Elvis, totally fine. I view it as you got to get some guys out there. If you can't catch the football, you can't be a starting wide receiver. I don't care who you are. I don't care how fast you are, athletic, your upside. If you cannot catch the football, you can't play wide receiver. So, yeah, there's a plethora of other options. There's a plethora of other guys out there. Hey, or Trey Smith had a catch on Saturday. Does Jakari Caldwell get more of a look? Hold on, guys. Does Jakari get more of a look? I mean, there are other guys, that I think deserve the opportunity if the starters can't get the job done, certainly. And, I mean, you got to think that Shane Beamer's going to put the guys out there that's going to give us the best chance to win. There's no question. Eric Reese, what's going on? Nick Renfro says Cam Smith is a dude. Travis Hawkins, when is Harris coming back? Harris should be 110% for this weekend, Travis. Harris will be good to go this weekend against ECU. Rhett Godbold, it bothers me that we got a victory and ECU loses and we come out as a 2-point favorite by Vegas and all of a sudden we are a 2-point dog. What the hell, Rhett? Glad you bring this up. And I tweeted about this morning. I think there's a couple of factors as to why East Carolina is the favorite right now or why it swung that way. And I'm not saying I agree with it. I am shocked that right now ECU is a 2-point favorite. I'm shocked ECU is a favorite in the football game. Did I expect the line to be about a field goal? Yes, I did. But I'm shocked that ECU is the favorite in this one. I really am. I think there's a couple of factors, though. Number one, I think Vegas is banking on, in stocks, right? You buy low and you sell high. I think Vegas is banking on the overreaction factor, that people are looking at what happened over this first weekend and they're saying, oh my God, ECU is so terrible. And then you look at South Carolina's final score, and if you don't do the digging, you just say, oh my God, South Carolina must be really improved or they're really good. Look at the score, blah, blah, blah. So I think Vegas is using that to their advantage, that people are going to overreact to the first week results on both sides. I think they're also factoring in South Carolina's question mark at the quarterback position. Say whatever you want about Zeb, about Luke. I know we all feel good, but guys, you got to think, these people in Vegas that make these lines, they are not fans. They do not have biases. They are making lines to make money, bottom line. So they look at this game, major question mark for South Carolina under center. I think they look at and see that South Carolina against an East Carolina offensive attack that is going to have far more weapons than what EIU had. Question marks on the offensive line for them, but I think they still view our secondary as a deficiency. Call it for what it is. I think they see our receivers, deficiency. Call it for what it is. I think they see the way our offensive line struggled at times against an EIU defensive front. And hey, like I said, I think the offensive line is going to be okay, but ECU is going to be a much, much better defensive front than what you saw this past weekend. And the game being on the road in Greenville, North Carolina, and South Carolina's lack of success against teams outside of the Power 5 the last couple of years. So you factor all those things in. I think that's the reason why you've seen this wacky line, the way it started, where it's at. again, I am very, very surprised. I am very surprised that ECU is the favorite. I don't necessarily agree with that. But, I mean, guys, I had a couple buddies of mine saying, I think it's going to be South Carolina's going to be an 8 or 9 point favorite. And I'm like, I'm telling you, man, if it's more than a touchdown, I'd be absolutely shocked. Because I don't think, from the ECU side of things, they did not look good. They did not look good. App State took them to the woodshed, dominated both lines of scrimmage. But I'll be totally honest, guys, I didn't see anything from South Carolina on Saturday night that just changes my projections, that changes my outlook for the 2021 season. And I had somebody coming at me on Twitter this morning that was so upset. They were trying to say that I was telling people around me, which was like one person, but I was telling people around me that I was telling a guy that we had no talent. And that's not accurate. Of course, it's Twitter. Who gives a damn what some troll on Twitter says? But that's not accurate. But what I was trying to do is talk the guy next to me off the ledge of thinking we are all of a sudden going 8-4 because we beat EIU by 46 points. Who gives a damn? I mean, and truly, who gives a damn? We learned nothing, right? We said it going in. We weren't going to learn anything. You can't draw conclusions from what you saw. Just because you shut out EIU doesn't mean your defense is going to be elite. You saw some nice things. You did what you were supposed to do. The Shane Beamer era started on a positive note. That's all the goal was. All the goals you had Saturday night, you accomplished them. You accomplished them. Now you move to a new challenge that is going on the road at ECU, a game you have to win. It's not a must win, but it's a can't lose. It's a can't lose for your hopes of getting to a bowl game. We saw there are very talented individual pieces on this football team, but there definitely are still question marks. And most of the question marks I had, I didn't necessarily get any major answers. You know what I mean? Like even the secondary, as good as they played, guys, EIU was pathetic offensively. They were pathetic. I'm not leaving Saturday night saying, you got a great secondary. They're going to be a surprise unit. They might be. They surely might be. The number one goal of Saturday night was to gain confidence going into week 2, and you did that. That's the beautiful thing about what we saw on Saturday night. A lot of guys played well. A lot of guys made plays. A lot of guys you're going to be depending on played well and made plays. So now you have confidence. Now you have something to feel good about, and now you feel like going into week 2 at ECU, you have something to build off of from that week 1 victory. Again, I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer or take anything away from week 1 win, but you also have to keep it in perspective, take into account who the opponent was, but you did what you were supposed to do. And what I love the most, because you could break it down on individual players and what we did offensively, defensively, special teams, all the great things we did. What I loved most about the game was just simply put that from start to finish, there was never a nervous moment in that game. That game was never in doubt from the opening kickoff. Never in doubt. And I feel like we've seen South Carolina teams in the past that have sort of, here's a good one for you, dilly-dallied around, that have just messed around in these type of games, and it was uncomfortable at times and made silly mistakes. And, besides the penalties we had, which it's week 1, I know Shane Beamer wasn't pleased with it. It's something I expect to see get cleaned up. But for the most part, you handled your business. You handled your business. I mean, there was nothing that stood out to me that makes me worry about, that there was no point in that game where you were worried about the outcome. There was no point in that game you were. So again, I thought it was a great job for South Carolina to just handle their business, guys. By the way, if you're trying to call in, I apologize. The phone lines have been closed. The phone lines are now open now. I actually forgot I put it on Do Not Disturb so people could call in and leave voicemails for the podcast. So if you do want to call in, 843-790-3377. The phone lines are now open, guys. Again, we have 56 comments pending. I told you I knew it the first Monday after game day that this would be crazy. So be patient with me as I get to your questions and your comments. In the TDC questions channel on the Big Cock Club Discord, Keith says, don't know what I was disappointed in more, the fan turnout or the O-line playing down to the competition. And yes, Saturday night, I was harsh on the fan turnout. I want to soften my stance a little bit. 64,000, I think, was the attendance. I mean, that's saying enough. I understand there's a lot of stuff going on in the world and the cost of taking a family of 4 to a game and the opponent, but Shane Beamer's first game, I was a little surprised at the crowd. I thought it'd be a little more, whatever. I don't want to harp on the crowd. Hey, you make your own money. You make your own choices. I don't care what you do. If you want to go to the game or you don't, whatever. But all I would just say is this. As fans, you don't have any control of what goes on the field necessarily. But the one thing you do have control in is making Willie be a fantastic environment so that when recruits come there, they see a raucous environment. They see a raucous fan base, and that's going to make a kid want to play there. That's one of the things we can hang our hat on and sell. So, it is what it is. Whatever. I'd expect the crowd for Kentucky to be fantastic. And I know it was EIU, and there were other factors as well, but whatever. The O-line, yeah, again, you got to get better. You got to get better on the offensive line. Bottom line, there's no other way to put it. Let's see. Got a text here. Chris Miller says, don't get me wrong. I'm glad our guys went out there and took care of business against DIU, but I was not impressed with our O-line at all. I think our defense performed a little better than I expected. After looking at ECU and their loss to App State, I feel a little more confident we'll be able to go into Greenville and take care of business. Georgia's going to be hell to play against. Still feel like 5-7, maybe 6-6 is a good bet this year. Let's jump to the phone lines real quick. David, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, Chris. Appreciate all you do, man. What I'm most excited about is the fact that now the coaching staff has film of players to break down and teach from the players doing their system. They've only had a little bit of film of them in somebody else's system. So now they can really teach. And I think White has earned a start versus ECU. And I think Doty will play, but I think Zeb will start. Hope you have a good rest of your holiday, and talk to you soon. Thanks.
David, appreciate you. Thank you so much. So for those that don't know, by the way, that's also David Garrick, a.k.a. Sound Guy. David Garrick that helped me out this weekend at Jay's Corner. The live show helped us out at Halls as well on Friday. Again, folks, thank you for tuning into those, and I really, truly appreciate sincerely David for all of his help because TSUS, we are not a sound company. I'm not a sound guy yet. That's not something, I've self-taught myself a lot of things. I have not gotten around to that yet, but yeah, I will be learning that as we go. But no, David makes some good points. I'll tell you some bold predictions. Quan White starting at running back. He thinks Zeb Noland will get the nod on Saturday. Now, I'll tell you guys this. I'll tell you guys this. In regards to the quarterback situation, that's what everybody wants to talk about, right? With the quarterbacks and I've got, again, we got a ton of texts here. We've got a ton of comments, everything, guys. You guys have showed up and showed out here on a Labor Day. I would say this. Zeb Noland played beautifully Saturday night. He did everything you asked him to do and everything I expect him to do. Like I said, guys, in the opening snap, he looked like a veteran. He looked like a guy that was in charge, that commanded the offense. This was not his first rodeo. I think the questions and the fans clamoring for Jason Brown or Colton Gauthier are dead at least for 1 week because Zeb Noland, he showed you why he was anointed the starter. Cool, calm, collected. He took the keys to the car, like I mentioned so many times last week and a couple weeks prior. He took the keys to the car and he handled himself like a professional. Now, with that being said, did I walk out of the stadium feeling like, oh, Zeb Noland, 110%, he is your new starter? No, I did not. No, I did not. I did not feel that way. Let's see. Hold on. We got a couple questions here. People complaining about the crowd on Saturday. Is that a thing? Oh, okay. Anyways. Talking about student seating and stuff like that. He played well. Commanded the offense. I was very happy with what Zeb Noland did. Moving forward, because now the question turns to, okay, ECU, in the rest of this season, Luke Doty's 110% healthy, and I told each and every single one of you that when Luke Doty's healthy, he is QB1. He is this team's starting quarterback. First things first, if Shane Beamer, and he's not going to, obviously, but if Shane Beamer makes the decision on Saturday morning that Zeb Noland is the guy, wants to start him, whatever, I'm going to roll with Shane Beamer, guys. Like I told you, I have no doubt. I have no reason to doubt, I should say, Shane Beamer and his decision-making. I'm going to trust Shane Beamer and his decision-making until he proves me otherwise that I shouldn't, okay? So that's the first thing. Whoever they roll with, we're going to be behind him 110%. But I will say this. You look at this football team, and again, did we learn anything new on Saturday? I wouldn't say so. If anything, I think a lot of my preconceived notions and thoughts and opinions on this football team were only reconfirmed. Like offensively, the questions at receiver, they were reconfirmed. I mean, bottom line, we have strength at tight end. Our running backs are good. That goes without saying. Our offensive line, I think, will come around and be better. But the passing game is going to be an issue for us this year, guys. It was so many checkdowns and dump offs. And did Zeb Nolan make a throw on Saturday, in my opinion, that I stepped back and said, wow, he just separated himself as QB1 because of that throw? Not necessarily. And I'm not trying to take anything away from the guy, but I didn't see that. When you look at this football team, like I said, I trust in Beamer. Whatever he says goes. He's going to make the decision that gives this team the best chance to win, bottom line. But at some point this season, guys, I don't know if it's this weekend against ECU. Certainly you'd think it's probably going to have to be against Georgia at least. But at some point this season, probably sooner rather than later, you are going to have to be dynamic offensively to win a game. You're going to have to be. And Zeb Nolan, yes, he is cool, calm, collected. He is the leader of your football team. There are many things he does well. He took care of the football, which was obviously priority number one. But Luke Doty's upside when it comes to the athleticism and making plays with his legs, and I didn't see a throw that Zeb Nolan made where I was like, man, like Luke Doty, there's nobody else on our roster that can make that throw. I never felt that way even once during the game. Luke Doty may be more of a risk at quarterback because, he is a little bit younger and inexperienced. Is he a little more erratic in the passing game? I feel good about Luke Doty in the passing game, but some may argue that point. But you're going to have to be dynamic offensively to win at some point. You didn't have to be against EIU. You could have just been one-dimensional, won the game, no big deal. I think you're going to have to be dynamic offensively to win a game, and I think Luke Doty gives you the best chance to do that. I just still, even after watching the game over the weekend, I have a hard time believing that the best version of this offense and this football team is not with Luke Doty or with that. The best version of this football team, it is with Luke Doty under center. I have a hard time believing that is not the case. I have a hard time believing that. So, again, we will see what Shane Beamer does. It's going to be a very interesting week. Of course, we're not going to hear anything about the quarterback position until Saturday. I would bet you that Luke Doty gets the start. Again, guys, there's just nothing to me. Zeb Nolan did exactly what he was supposed to do, exactly what you felt like he should have done. He did nothing to me to take the job. He didn't. And I mean, again, I'm not trying to take anything away from it, but what a good position, I guess you could say, South Carolina's in, because now you don't just have to depend on one guy, because if you learned anything, is that Jason Brown and Colton Gothy are not ready to lead this football team to a victory. And again, I'm not trying to slight them. That's no knock on them, but hard to look at that game Saturday and think anything else. So again, if nothing else, at least thank goodness you have Zeb Nolan back there to, whether they start him, whether he's behind Doty, if one of the two guys isn't playing well, now you have another option. But you got to go into Saturday, and I'm sure they will. You've got to go into Saturday with a QB1. I don't see Shane Beamer being a two-quarterback system kind of guy. He's going to want to pick a single starter. I see that happening. I think Luke Doty's the guy. Personally, I do not think Luke Doty will lose his job due to an injury. And again, a lot of you asked me last week, Chris, if Zeb Nolan goes out there and he has a great game, is there a way that just, is there a way that, he takes the job? And, again, after watching Saturday, yes, he played a very clean game, a very efficient game, but there was nothing that stood out, guys. Again, wide receiver is a deficiency for this football team. There's just no other way to put it. It is. And I told you guys, hey, I'd love to see this team throw the ball to build confidence against EIU. We know we want to run it, but let's build some confidence. I mean, yes, Josh Vann had a couple of nice snags, and I think he could be a dude, but, I mean, dude, outside of that, did anybody at the wide receiver position make you feel good about that they're going to be a consistent, dependable option? I mean, Jalen Brooks had one catch, but he drops another. Dak Joyner couldn't hold on to the football. Or Trey Smith had one, but nobody really did anything that makes me feel like, oh, wow, they're going to step up a wide receiver. Let's jump to the phone lines real quick. Hey, Phil, what's going on, man? How are you?
Pretty good, Christopher. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
I just finished up grocery shopping, heading down to the Merrimack outlet malls to get some delicious Qdoba for lunch. A lot
Beautiful.
of vegan options there. So
very nice.
Yeah. Just want to say what a great first game for Coach Beamer and the boys. Getting the Beamer era started off right. It's very refreshing to play a team that is, a subdivision below us and just whoop their ass. It's very nice to have that occur. So I'm leading a fan movement here to make sure that Ray Tanner hears our voices and say, in the future, wouldn't it be nice, to play these teams that could beat us, like Virginia Tech or NC State or UNC? That's all well and good. But I want to play these teams that have no chance of beating us 3 times each year. I don't care if you got to pay Elon $2 million a year to come on down to Columbia, Western Carolina, come on down. Wofford is just a short trip down the road. I want to play those 3 teams, or whoever in that subdivision 3 times a year so we get 3 guaranteed wins. Our footprint and our schedule is so tough that, we shouldn't be concerned about losing in our non-conference schedule other than to those dirt peckers up the road, those dirt kickers.
Yeah, no, I agree with you again. That's when people ask me about beefing up the schedule and these big time out of conference matchups. And again, there's some that are fun. I mean, South Carolina, Virginia Tech to open the season in a few years is cool. But you know what's cooler than having a tough schedule? Winning. Winning's a lot cooler. So yeah, I mean, dude, we play in the SEC. It's the luxury of playing in this conference is you don't have anything to prove because your in conference schedule is so tough. So I agree with you, man. I mean, listen, again, I've never understood fans that want to hang their hat on a tough schedule. I mean, I'm sorry, but what are you going to do? Sell having a tough schedule in recruiting? No, but you can sell getting to 7 wins. You can sell getting to 7 or 8 wins. And when you have 3 out of 4 of your non-conference, like you mentioned, it's gimme. I mean, look at Missouri, man. They have 4 cupcakes every year in the non-conference. So you cannot even be a good team. But if you have 4 wins chalked up, getting to 6 and getting to a bowl is going to be very simple and very easy. That if you get to a bowl game or better every year, you're keeping your program at least above water to where like you can build and get great recruiting classes. I'm sorry, but going 4-8 and hanging your hat on a tough schedule does nothing. Does nothing for your program.
Right. Yep. The minimum expectation for all major sports, I've said this a million times, and you know that what I'm about to say. The minimum expectation for all of our major sports is the postseason, some type of playoff scenario, or just get to a damn bowl game. That's all I care about. So if you've got 3 guaranteed wins, it makes it a lot easier when you're playing in the toughest conference, and it's no contest. We play in the toughest conference in the nation. So might as well get up 3 guaranteed wins every year. We don't have to get these, practically foreign programs come in like EIU to come in and play us where they have no fans traveling. Hell, make it local. Like I said, South Carolina State's right down the road. I'm sure they'd love to get $1 million check from us. Make it fun.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree 110%. That was fun, like I said, to watch a South Carolina game where, I mean, dude, the game from the opening kick, it was never in doubt. There wasn't a single stressful moment in that football game. It was one of those kick your feet up and hang out and just sort of enjoy it, if you will. So it gets a lot tougher this weekend, and it'll get even tougher the following weekend. But you couldn't have asked to start the Beamer era any better way than the way you did. I'd say for sure. So.
Yeah, all eyes will be on Greenville this weekend. I hope we come out on top. Go Cox.
Yeah, no, for sure. Go Cox. I appreciate you, Phil.
All right, bye.
All right. Thanks so much. 843-790-3377, guys. That's 843-790-3377. We got a text here. It says Luke Doty's QB1, just making ECU prepare for all of the options. Another text that says, I think Doty will get the start if healthy. Not naming a starter is just a game to make ECU prepare for everyone. That's a thing. I think it's a very fair opinion by you there. It says, Hunter Wages says, I would say I'm 99.999% sure that Doty will get the start on Saturday, assuming his health is as good as it seems. If that is the case, can we as fans please trust Beamer and not call Zeb's name every time Doty has a wayward pass? Beamer has given us no reason whatsoever to not trust him. Hunter, that's a great text. I agree with you 110%. Honestly, I really do. Austin Greer texts him, says, haven't had a chance to listen to the podcast yet, but I think Doty should start. We have to allow Doty to grow. Zeb may be better at the moment, but we have to play the long game. Our near future is Doty, not Zeb. Allow him to grow as a player on the field and get the experience. I want to get into that in just a second. Let's see. We sit in section 8, row 1, same section as you. Love your seats. Are you going to the East Carolina game this week? Tim Branch, by the way. Tim, no. So we are throwing our watch party in Greenville, North Carolina. Or excuse me. The game's in Greenville, North Carolina. We are throwing a watch party at Carolina Ale House, Greenville, South Carolina, downtown Greenville in Greenville, South Carolina. Doors open at 11. Kickoff is at noon. So we'll be throwing a watch party this Saturday. We'll be throwing a watch party this Saturday. Kickoff at noon, Greenville, South Carolina, downtown Greenville. So all the upstate Gamecocks, we're showing love this weekend. Would love to have you guys come out and about. Would love to see all of you this weekend at the downtown Greenville location. Going back to the previous text, though, Austin Greer, yes, I do agree with you. I do agree with you. I do agree with you in the sense of Zeb Nolan may be more experienced, but Luke Doty's upside. You got to make him the option. You got to make him the option. To me, like I said, you're going to have to be dynamic offensively to win. Not every team you play is EIU. You don't play another EIU this year, basically. Maybe Vandy, because they're trash, but nah, man, you need that dynamic playmaking ability under center, and Luke Doty is the only guy on the roster that gives you that, bottom line. Bad Brad 757 in the TDC Questions channel says, I'd say the biggest disappointment or takeaway was the lack of downfield throws. Yeah, I mean, but again, if you don't have – I would have loved to have seen more downfield throws as well, but you don't just want to throw it downfield for the sake of throwing it downfield. If guys aren't getting open, you don't want to put the ball in harm's way. That was certainly disappointing, though, to think that you're like, man, do we not have a guy on the outside that can win the deep matchup? Now, did we call them? Did we call the most aggressive game plan ever? I don't know. I don't know that we did. But, you know, right now, I think, too, you're looking for those options on the outside. Do you really have them? I don't know that you can say that. Keith Malsberg on the TDC Questions channel says, do you think we need more speed to be able to throw the ball downfield? We need to improve speed all across our roster, Keith, in my opinion. Big-time athletes make big-time plays in big-time games. When South Carolina plays Georgia, we are going to be out-athleted. That's bottom line. And the only way you fix being out-athleted is going and recruiting better athletes, Keith. There's no other answer. Luke RJ in the chat says, hey, Chris, I had a feeling you were a holes in your jeans kind of guy, LOL. Yeah, well, Luke, if you'd been following my content for longer than like 2 days, you probably already knew that. Joseph, there weren't as many downfield throws because we need to throw downfield. Come on, guys, it's common sense. Now, ECU or Georgia might not see us as a deep threat. Joseph says, I promised we could have gone deep on EIU. How do you know that, Joseph? Have you been at practice? Here's my thing, though, Joseph. I hear you, whatever. If you want to argue that we weren't calling the most aggressive game plan, forget throwing a deep ball. We didn't even hardly go down the field, Joseph. You cannot argue to me that our receivers looked how they looked or our passing game because we were being conservative. I don't buy that, man. Like, EIU was the game to go down the field and to stretch the field and to build confidence in the long passing game. I'm not saying that we aren't ever going to be able to do it. I'm not saying that. But do you think truly that's going to be one of our strengths? I doubt it. I think it'll be few and far between that we actually hit a pass that's longer than 25 yards. I mean, I really do. I really do. But we'll see. We will see. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Apparently, there's somebody causing a scene, guys. I can't follow with all of the comments here. Apparently, there's somebody causing a scene in the comments, though, and it looks like it's probably a Clemson fan. So, shocker. John Kruger says, QB1 is Luke Doty, just making ECU prepare for all the options. Yeah, that's fair. Let's see. Keith says, in the press conference on Sunday, it sort of sounded like Shane was alluding to a Luke Doty start. I mean, here's the thing, guys. He was named QB1 after the spring game. He was QB1 all summer, and he was QB1 up until he got hurt. So why would that change now? I don't think he will lose his job because of an injury. I'll just leave it at that. I don't think he loses his job because of an injury. So, and I will say this. If you are a Clemson fan in the chat, it sucks to suck. Our GA has 4 more touchdowns than your quarterback does. So, sucks to suck, Dabo. Dustin DeRoe, prediction for Saturday. I will have that out later this week, Dustin. I'm going to make you wait. Prediction will be out this week, though. A.J. Bowers, we have guys with speed that can catch the ball. It's the fact that they can get open to catch ball. We'll find that soon. I mean, AJ, I thought we struggled catching the football Saturday. I mean, listen, AJ and everybody else, I know people want our receivers to be good. I do too. I know people want to sugarcoat it and make it seem like, but guys, our receivers are not good. Bottom line. Our receivers are not good. That's it. They're not. They're not. And that's okay, but they're not. Do we have some decent individual pieces? Like I said, I thought Josh Vann, I was very encouraged with Josh Vann, and he showed me that maybe, just maybe, he's ready to emerge and be sort of the guy we thought he'd be in recruiting. But top to bottom, this is a weak wide receiver room. That's okay, but that's another reason why Luke Doty needs to be the starting quarterback, in my opinion, because you're not going to go out there, guys, like I told you, you're not going to go out there and throw the ball 30 times a game or more and go win. That's just not how you're going to win games. It's just not how you're going to win games. Right now you got guys who have been here for a couple of years and guys you're depending on your starting receiver core that are struggling to catch the football. You're going to have to run it. You're going to have to block up front. You're going to have to use the backs out of the backfield. You're going to have to use your tight ends, and then hopefully just hope and pray that you can get something, anything from those guys on the outside. Again, I'm not sitting here saying that there's no potential at all, but I saw nothing on Saturday that makes me feel like, wow, our receivers, this guy emerged, this guy. It was a very lackluster performance, if we're being totally honest, from the guys on the outside. So we'll see if they can develop, and there's going to be a lot asked of them this weekend because you're going to have to throw it at some point. You're going to have to hit some passes down the field. So we'll see if it happens this weekend. Georgia, Kentucky. We'll see if this is a group that can develop week after week after week like the rest of this football team. But, I saw nothing from the receivers Saturday that makes me feel like all of a sudden that they're ready to emerge and be a surprise unit on this football team. I just don't see that, guys. I just don't see it. AJ, that's what I'm saying. We have to find out in bigger games they can catch the ball. We can't go off at EIU, and we will have to take some deep shots versus bigger and better teams. AJ, again, I hear what you're saying. I don't disagree. It is concerning when you're having the type of issues. If you can't catch the football against EIU, AJ, then who the hell are you going to catch the football against? If you can't throw the deep ball against EIU, who the hell are you going to throw the deep ball against? Maybe we were being conservative. We didn't reveal the entire playbook. Fine, cool. I'll let you live with that belief and that comment right now, but at some point, you definitely want to see us stretch the field at some point for sure. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. The TDC Questions channel. Let's head over there. Let's see. T-Knoll28 says, Zeb overthrew the 6'8" E.J. Jenkins in the red zone. His pass to Muse in triple coverage wasn't smart either. He did nothing at all to separate himself as QB1. He managed the game well, and that's what he was asked to do. T-Knoll coming in with the fire here on a Monday. And that's, you know what, I'll tell you this. That is a very honest take, but it's probably the right take. I'll be totally honest with you. It's probably the right take. So T-Knoll28, kudos to you. I agree with you again. I think it's a fool's errand to go off of what Zeb Nolan did against EIU and try to draw conclusions and say he should be the starter. He didn't make a single throw Saturday night that anybody on the roster couldn't have made. Let's just call it for what it is, especially Luke Doty. Gamecock Rob says, just remember the biggest improvement for teams comes from week 1 to week 2. I hope and pray that is the case. Certainly, yeah, this team's not to sound like a coach, but this team's definitely got to improve. There's no doubt. Nick N., yes, Amarian Brown did play. He had one catch. Tommy Wallace, great confidence builder for our defense. How about that play and speed by Birch on the pick 6? Yeah. The defense was spectacular. There's no question. Dominated a lesser opponent. It's what you should have done. Defensive line, obviously, we've got creatures, as Jimmy Lindsay calls them. We've got studs all up front. We got big-time athletes. Loved seeing that for Jordan Birch. Obviously, I think he's a guy that's going to take it the next step this year. But having that type of play, building confidence, I think is obviously great for him. Secondary played a good game. Obviously, you get a pick on the first offensive play of the game for EIU. That's a positive. That's a plus. We'll see how they look this weekend. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not ready to hang my hat on the secondary and say the same thing as the wide receivers. And the wide receivers, like I said, they didn't have the greatest game on Saturday. But again, South Carolina guys did what it should have done against a lesser opponent that didn't belong on the field with the Gamecocks. That's the takeaway from Saturday. You were able to get a lot of guys on the field. You were able to build confidence. That's the takeaway, right? It's almost like the spring game. drawing conclusions from that game on Saturday about this football team is very dangerous. And, guys, there are 11 more games left. There are 11 more games left against 11 teams that are a lot better than that EIU team you played on Saturday. But, again, that's taking nothing away. You did exactly what you should have done. Again, I'm most impressed that this was a football team that came out, handled the moment. The first game of the Shane Beamer era, not a ton of mistakes, controlled the game from the opening snap. And, again, that's really all you could have asked for. That's all you could have asked for from this football team overall. So, again, kudos to Shane Beamer, having his team ready to play, having his team ready to go, and they showed that, I thought, all night long on Saturday. Rowdy Rooster 75 says in the TDC Questions channel, which, by the way, guys, the Big Cock Club Discord, TDC Questions, the TDC Questions channel are the first priority questions for the Daily Crow. So if you want to join, patreon.com/Big Cock Club. And the reason we have this set up is because a day like today and all throughout the season, you guys are flooding the comments, which is great, but realistically, we can't get to them all. So if you want to be sure your questions are answered, TDC Questions channel, the Big Cock Club Discord, head over there. But again, Rowdy Rooster 75 says, what are your honest thoughts on Lloyd? I thought Lloyd played well. I did think Lloyd played well. I mean, the offensive line as a whole, I just think needs to be a lot better. You saw some flashes of that explosiveness from Marshawn Lloyd. Yeah, I mean, I thought he played well. I really did. I thought he played well. There's nothing, but again, you can't draw conclusions, but you see it, right? You see that explosiveness. You see the quickness. You see the agility. So, I mean, I feel good about Marshawn Lloyd going forward. Absolutely. I'm really excited to see Kevin Harris return this week. It's going to be, this Gamecock running attack, this running back room is as good as any in the country. There's no question. Let's see. Dustin says replay of the game will be on at 11 in the morning tomorrow, SEC Network. Yes, if you guys want to watch it. I'm surprised it's not on YouTube yet. Carolina Titan says sad reality is that wide receivers wasn't an emphasis with the last staff, and it's showing now. Dak isn't a quarterback, and it's showing. Sampson from Texas will come in next year and probably start. You're probably right. Rowdy Rooster 75, what was your thoughts on Coach Satterfield's play calling Saturday? I thought it was good. I thought it was good. Again, we threw it a lot more than I expected, especially early. 4 touchdown passes in the first half. I would have never saw that coming. No, I thought the play calling was good. I have no complaints in regards to play calling. None at all. I thought Satterfield called a really good game. I thought it was a very, very clean, well-coached game all the way around. I thought the coaching staff did a phenomenal job. Tyler Noah, where is Rashad Amos? He's on the team. I guess he just didn't get in. I don't know. Juju looked good. I like Juju. Like what I saw from Juju. Glenn Scott, it's just good to see the players excited. They seem rejuvenated. What do you think? Yeah, certainly the guys had a lot of fun Saturday night. And I'll say this, though. Everybody had a lot of fun. Shane Beamer was smiling and giggling at the tunnel, and it was great to see all the way around. Certainly it was great to see. But it's easy to have a lot of fun and smile and giggle when you're going up against a team that you just know you're going to beat the absolute brakes off of. So let's see this weekend. Let's see against Georgia. Let's see against Kentucky when we're going out there and, hey, it's an opponent that's actually going to challenge us and punch us in the mouth. That's what I want to see. Let's see, guys. Let's see. We got a couple of texts here on the text line. 843-790-3377, guys. It says, as long as we score an offensive touchdown against Georgia next Saturday, I'll be happy because we did something that Clemson could not. Love that. Love that for sure. Got a text here. Looks like Robbie Davis flooding my text with tons of pictures. Robbie says, what's up, Chris? I'm doing well. I'm glad you are too. I liked what I saw together except for the offensive line and the wide receivers need to step up. I feel like once we really start get going, some confidence, we will give teams fits. Go Gamecocks, your friend Robbie Davis. Clemson did throw a touchdown pass, but it was a pick 6. Very good, Robbie. Here are some pictures of me and the players. Very good. He also says one of the block punts, I said 5 seconds before it happened, I would love to see a block punt, and it happened. Yeah, great night overall. And, Robbie, I appreciate you shooting that text over. Really, really good stuff. It was a great night overall. There's no question. Marion R26 says, I like the look of the 2-point conversion. Yeah, I love that. I thought it was a great wrinkle. Absolutely loved that from Shane Beamer. You absolutely love to see it. Who's surprised, though? Beamer ball, folks. Beamer ball. Dustin, what do you think about Joyner at quarterback Saturday? Are you talking about for this Saturday? Like against ECU, you mean? Carolina Titan says, John, just think that team in the upstate's loaded with 4 and 5 stars on the offensive line. And I will tell you this, Carolina Titan, that team they played, Georgia, is loaded with 4 and 5 stars on the defensive line and the secondary and at the linebacker position. So But it is fun to talk shit to Clemson fans today. It definitely is. What a great day it was. I mean, Carolina wins, Clemson loses. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better Saturday. Dustin, Joyner at quarterback. What did I think about it? It's a nice wrinkle. It's great to make teams prepare for something. How much do they really use him in the Wildcat? We'll see. Again, it's a nice wrinkle. And we're talking about an offense, again, that is looking for playmakers all over the field. So whatever you can do to move the offense and keep defenses guessing, I'm a fan of. So, and I think that's what you do with the carry-on Joyner for sure. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Comments are flooding in here on a Monday as we break down the Gamecocks' 46-0 season-opening win to kick off the Shane Beamer era on Saturday. Guys, we'll talk about that. Also, if you want to continue, we can talk ECU this weekend, the quarterback position, everything from the Gamecocks game on Saturday, as well as looking ahead to this weekend, a pivotal matchup against the Pirates. And, of course, guys, I'll break that one down more in depth and detail later this week. But would love to get your thoughts. Would love to hear from you. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377 here on this Labor Day, Monday, September the 6th, 2021, folks. Appreciate you all tuning in. You are tuned in to the Daily Crow. We'll be right back. All right, what's up, folks? We are back. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, comments, calls here on this Monday, Labor Day, September the 6th, 2021, folks. Again, appreciate you all tuning in. I know it's Labor Day. Many of you probably have the day off, kind of doing whatever, your own plan. So, again, if you're taking time out of your day to tune in here with us on this Monday, thank you so much. But what a Monday it is. That 1-0 feeling as the Gamecocks sit 1-0 after a big win over the weekend, 46-0 over the EIU Panthers, and now prepare for a pivotal road trip to Greenville, North Carolina this weekend as the Gamecocks look to move to 2-0 early in the 2021 football season. Let's see. Billy Love says, did that Gamecock fan argue that we should schedule 3 D2 teams a year just to make him feel better about wins and losses? D2 wins don't count towards bowl eligibility, in case you're wondering. Billy, I think it's called over-exaggeration. But I think the point he was making, Billy, is there is nothing to gain from beefing up your out-of-conference schedule. Like, if you're South Carolina, you should be scheduling 3 games like EIU every single year in the non-conference. Because, again, Billy, and I don't know if you'd argue otherwise, but I'm just here to tell you, having a hard schedule is cool, but winning games is a lot cooler. Because guess what? I'm going to tell you right now, I hate Clemson, folks. I hate Clemson. I loved how we all danced on their graves after their loss over the weekend. But Clemson's probably going to win out the rest of the way. They don't play a soul. The ACC sucks. And you know what? We can trash it. We can talk shit, whatever you want to do. But guess what? At the end of the day, Clemson's probably going to finish their regular season 11-1. And despite what we think, you can sell going 11-1 to prospects, to recruits, to the best recruits in the country. You can't sell going 5-7 or 4-8 to recruits, but you tell them, but man, we had a really tough schedule. Like, they don't give a damn. They don't care what the schedule was. What's cooler than having a tough schedule? Winning. Winning is cooler. So, yeah, miss me. We need to schedule Michigan and Southern Cal and Texas. No, bro. We need to schedule EIU 3 times, and then we have Clemson. We should have 3 built-in wins plus Vandy every single year. Because guess what? Then all you got to do is win 2 games and you get in a bowl game. That's it. That's it. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Let's see. Taking your questions, your comments, your calls. Who wins tonight? Ole Miss and Louisville. Yeah, there is a game tonight. What time do they play? Like 8 o'clock? Is it 8 o'clock they play? Let's see. 8 o'clock, right? Ole Miss is an 8.5 point. I think Ole Miss smokes them. I think they're going to score. They're going to score often. They're going to score a lot. I think Ole Miss wins that game. Yeah, I think they take care of business. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, your comments, your calls as well here on this Monday. Appreciate you all tuning in, guys. Thank you all so much. Let's see. Drew Taylor says, that game was just what we needed to start the Shane Beamer era. I agree 110%. Rowdy Rooster 75 in the TDC Questions channel, the Big Cock Club Discord, says, what were you the most pleasantly surprised with during the game against EIU? What position group do you think is the most SEC game ready? Well, I'll take that one first. Rowdy Rooster, it's no question, it's the defensive line. I mean, there are things you can coach and there are things you can't coach. And that athleticism and that talent we have on the defensive line, I mean, those are things you're either God-given or you're not. Like Jordan Birch is a freak. He's a specimen. And I think he showed that. You just look at how deep we are and the options we have. You know, most certainly, I think the defensive line, they are the most SEC ready. What were you most pleasantly surprised with? I would say play of the secondary. I thought the secondary, you know, I picked 56-10. We knew the Gamecocks were going to beat the hell out of EIU, but I thought the secondary did play really, really well. Also, let's show love to special teams with 2 blocked punts and a 2-point conversion converted. I thought the special teams was fantastic. I don't know that I really came in the game expecting the special teams to do anything necessarily. But yeah, so those are the things that would surprise me. But overall, I mean, I wasn't not much surprised me in the sense I expected us, I expected Shane Beamer to have his football team ready to play a full team effort, and you saw that. I mean, South Carolina dominated every single phase of the game. The game was never in doubt, never in question. You love to see that week one. You absolutely love to see that week one. Let's see. Drew Taylor, thanks again for talking to Granddad. Drew, no, appreciate you guys. Appreciate it. And I do want to say that, by the way. I know we're so busy talking about the game and looking ahead, and there's so much to break down. Content bleeding out the eyeballs, like we always say. But I do want to take a moment, guys, to say thank you to all of you so much that took the time to, whether it be tune into the live shows we had over the weekend, to come out to the tailgate. The tailgate at Seawells was a massive, massive success. And again, we'll be out there each and every single home game for the 2021 football season. But those who stopped by, those who shook my hand, those that said what's up, again, thank you so much. I truly, truly do appreciate you guys. Again, that when we went through COVID and we didn't get to go to games and we didn't get to have that fellowship and that camaraderie and interact with one another. That's what I missed the most more than anything, was getting to meet you guys and shake your hand. And, I tell people that, and I'll tell you guys this. The reason I love doing the live shows and I love doing events and I love doing watch parties and tailgates, because it's cool how we're able to interact here and build a relationship. And I've gotten to meet so many of you, whether it be through DM or in person. But we're able to communicate through social media, right? The power of social media and the internet and everything else. But I still believe in the power of a handshake. I still believe in looking someone in the eye, and I still I believe in saying thank you to someone in person and showing that gratitude and that love and that appreciation. And so I love, it fills my heart with joy what we had on Saturday, Gamecocks coming together. We had the TSUS and the Big Cock Club flags flying, which the Big Cock Club flag was a massive hit, by the way, at the tailgate. But no, I just want to take a moment to say sincerely, thank you all so much to those who supported, who came out. We had an absolute blast. It was a learning experience as well over the weekend. I definitely learned some things I want to do more of, less of, whatever. Some adjustments we'll make going into the Kentucky game. But, dude, Saturday was a blast. It was a massive – I got home probably at like midnight after all the festivities and everything, and was sitting there kind of watching some of the late games, whatever, and I was talking to a buddy of mine, and it was like, today was a massive success. I viewed the weekend, I viewed Saturday as a massive success for obviously the Gamecocks on the field, but business-wise. I thought it went great, and I appreciate, truly, sincerely appreciate you all. Thank you so much for making this weekend even beyond what I hoped for. So thank you. Let's see. James Kendall, I don't think Birch was on the field in the first half. Not sure, though. I thought he was. I mean, the stats don't jump out at you. He only had one tackle, but he had the pick six. And I think that can be something that really sparks him. That sparks him for this season. Solo Bowen just joined, so I don't know if you have talked about it, but do you think it's going to be a close call on who starts Saturday, or is it Doty? Well, are we really going to know if it's a close call? I mean, all we're going to know is just when the game starts and the starter is announced. I'm sure it's a battle. I mean, I'm sure there's a quarterback competition. How could there not be, right? Iron sharpens iron, and that's one of the things I'll tell you guys I've heard from behind closed doors that I've heard from behind closed doors that, Zeb Nolan being inserted has helped the quarterback room because competition, iron sharpens iron. You've got somebody, a veteran guy in there to push everybody. Again, if you ask me right now as a betting man, I would say that Luke Doty's the starter. My guess is that Luke Doty will start. I think Kevin Harris will start at running back as well. Just my guess. Let's see. Josh Deviney, nice to meet you as well, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Luke RJ says if Doty starts at ECU and doesn't play well, then that's going to suck for him and the team. People will go back to last year and say he isn't good again. Luke, if anybody starts and doesn't play well and sucks, as you say, it's going to suck no matter what. You need Luke to play well. I just look at it as this. John Gibbs says, when I stop by your tailgate the next home game, I need a Spurs up koozie. And, John, you're in luck because our koozies are going to be in this week, the next delivery, the next batch. So you should be in luck there, John. I had a lot of people asking me, too, and I'm like, man, I just ran out. Dude, it's taken forever to fulfill koozies and merch and stuff like that. So, again, thank you all for being patient, by the way. But speaking on the quarterback situation, again, if you guys did not hear my thoughts, my comments earlier, and I talked about this obviously a lot on the podcast. So if you want to go check that out, tune in for sure. Episode 490 did drop this morning. Full breakdown of the game over the weekend. Also, your listener questions, your voicemails, and, guys, a great conversation. I highly, highly suggest you guys check this out. Really cool perspective. Chris Doring of SEC Network, who was on the call Saturday night, joined me last night. We chatted. It's on the podcast today. He joined me on the show that dropped today. Really, really cool stuff. Really great to get his perspective and hear his thoughts on everything, guys. So definitely check that out. But again, speaking on the quarterback position and what should South Carolina do from here, right? That's the question everybody has. What should you do? First things first, tip the cap to Zeb Nolan. I gave him a game ball. You guys probably saw the graphic we put up. Tip your cap to Zeb Nolan. Give credit to Zeb Nolan and what he did on Saturday. He played exactly as I expected. A veteran presence, a calming presence, a guy who took the keys to the car, like I said, took the keys to the car and played extremely well. Now, took care of the football, by the way. Now, with that being said, did Zeb Nolan show anything to me on Saturday that would make me think, oh, he took the job, you can't take him out, he's the starter, you got to leave him in there? Personally, for me, no. I did not see anything of the sort. Again, I thought he was very safe with the football. He did what needed to be done. He didn't make any critical mistakes. He was in control the entire time, which, again, is why I told you guys, Shane Beamer and Marcus Satterfield, why they turned to him. They wanted to turn to the guy. That was the veteran calming voice in the huddle. That was the veteran calming voice for the team and a guy that was going to be in control during the football game. And he did that. But like I said on the show this morning, like I said earlier, and like I will say right now, at some point, I don't know if it's going to have to be this weekend. I don't know when it's going to be. But at some point, you are going to have to be dynamic offensively to not even just win a football game, guys, just to be in a football game, to have the chance to win a football game. You're going to have to be dynamic. And is Zeb Nolan maybe a little bit safer of an option? Maybe if you want to argue that, sure. Again, I think arguing that because of what a guy did against EIU, whatever. If you want to argue that, fine. But there's no doubt, there's no question that Luke Doty has more upside. He has the athleticism. And again, I didn't see a throw that Zeb Nolan made that I look at and say, wow, that's just not a throw Luke Doty's capable of making. I don't view it that way. Unless Zeb Nolan just is a master in regard to the offense and Luke Doty just flat out doesn't know the playbook, I'm rolling with Luke Doty in the sense of, I've told you guys many times, and I'll say it again, I just truly feel the best version of this offense and the best version of this football team is going to come with, in my opinion, Luke Doty under center. And I just have a hard time believing that's not the case. Because, again, guys, did we learn anything new on Saturday? I don't think so. Not necessarily. I don't think we did. But a lot of things I thought about this football team were reconfirmed. And one of those being wide receiver right now is still a deficiency. Wide receiver is still a question mark. No other way to put it. So you're going to lean on a run game. You're going to lean on the offensive line. You're going to lean on your tight ends. Zeb Nolan, guys, is basically Colin Hill reincarnated. Yes, he's a little more mobile. He's a little more agile because who isn't? Who isn't? Who isn't? But he doesn't, to me, Zeb Nolan doesn't scare Georgia. I don't know that Zeb Nolan even scares Kentucky. He doesn't scare, Auburn. He doesn't scare Clemson. I don't know that he scares ECU. But Luke Doty has that dynamic. Luke Doty can beat you in multiple ways. Luke Doty is going to make a defense be honest and think. And again, guys, it goes back to this too. And I'd ask you guys this question. Do you think Luke Doty should lose his job because of an injury? Because the guy was named QB1 for a reason. He was QB1 all summer long. And you could argue the only reason Zeb Nolan even put on a jersey was because he got injured. So I'll ask you this. How confident did you feel in him before he got hurt? Because if you really, truly, in your heart of hearts felt, and like I said, guys, I'm rolling with whoever Shane Beamer puts out there. I'm rolling with whoever Beamer puts out there, right? Beamer's given me no reason to doubt his decision-making, nor has Marcus Satterfield. So if they say it's Zeb Nolan on Saturday, to hell with it. It's Zeb Nolan. Let's go win a game. Let's go win a game. But how confident were you in Luke Doty as your starter before his injury? Because if you were dead set, you're like, we believe in this guy. Well, I think he's your starter Saturday. I don't think you allow your starter to lose his job because of an injury. Bottom line. So it'll be very interesting to see how they handle it. It will. It will be very interesting. On the flip side, really, I think the main takeaway, because we're all, in talking about who's going to be the starter is a very intriguing thing. But here's the positive, guys. At least now you have Zeb Nolan. At least you have him. So, hey, if you start Doty and it's rough for whatever reason, or if you hit any rough patches this season, at least you've got that calming veteran presence that you feel confident can go out there and get the job done. But like I said, guys, I think drawing conclusions and trying to say how good or bad someone is based off of what we saw on Saturday, I just, and again, I'm very cautious because I don't want to take anything away from Zeb Nolan, but I didn't see anything Saturday that made me walk out of the stadium and say, oh, he's got to start next week. I just don't see that. Justin Kyle says, honestly, I think Doty is better, but I'm not confident in him. Based on his play last year, which isn't saying much, with that coaching staff, he didn't impress me at all, honestly. But again, here's what I would say, Justin Kyle, and that's a fair opinion. But the kid was inserted into a dumpster fire. There's just no other way to put it. That situation wasn't ideal for anyone. So for me, it is very, very, very hard to judge Luke Doty, and I just don't do it. I'm not going to judge Luke Doty off of that small sample size last year. I'm just not going to do it. I mean, hell, you could argue Zeb Nolan had less of a sample size before he got the start Saturday night. I mean, he started at one game at Iowa State, and he backed up Trey Lance, and he played at North Dakota State. But, I mean, there wasn't some large sample size that said Zeb Nolan was going to ball out and take care of business against EIU, but you rolled with them anyways. So, let's see. Taking your questions, comments, calls, guys, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. James Wyndham says, you start the quarterback with the best week of practice, let him know he's on a short leash, and don't make it public until 1 hour before game time. And I think that's what Shane Beamer and company will do. They've obviously said they're not going to announce a starter until kickoff. And I totally understand. I mean, what's the point? Selfishly as fans, we want to be in the know. We want to know everything. But, I mean, what's the point? Why would you show your hand when you don't have to? Right? Why would you show your hand when you don't have to? Bottom line. Eric Price says, Chris, what do we need to do to get you in the box with Todd and Tommy? Here's a funny thing about you saying that, Eric. So, as many of you know, Birch Antley, who does the games for South Carolina Baseball on SEC Network Plus and all that good stuff, the streams, good buddy of mine, friend of the show, he actually presented this opportunity to me, and I think I'm going to take advantage of it. It's actually next Friday, not this Friday, but Birch does play-by-play for a high school football team. I think it's – who is it? It's freaking – who is it? I'm forgetting I'm forgetting who the team is. Let's see. Batesburg-Leesville, I believe. Yeah, Batesburg-Leesville. He does play-by-play for them or commentary, whatever. And there's a couple of games he can't do. And so he asked me, would I want to do play-by-play for the Batesburg-Leesville Strom-Thurmond game at Strom-Thurmond next Friday? And so I said yes. And so yours truly, in case you want to hear a Batesburg-Leesville Strom-Thurmond game, yours truly is going to be doing play-by-play in some capacity for the Batesburg-Leesville Strom-Thurmond game on the Batesburg channel, WBLR FM 103.1, 1430 AM. So I figured why not be something fun. I actually enjoy the play-by-play stuff. I think it's great. We got a text here. What do you think is the most important thing going into the game this Saturday? She says, also, honestly, so much kudos to Beamer and all the fans that showed up Saturday. It looked like it was truly the best Saturday in South Carolina. But what's the most important thing going in the game this Saturday? Two things. Line of scrimmage and quarterback play. Bottom line. I mean, first things first, quarterback play. It's just hard to win a football game if you don't have good quarterback play. So certainly that's important. But line of scrimmage. Where was ECU's deficiency and weakness in week one? What got them beat against Appalachian State? Well, here's what got them beat. Holton Ahlers, the ECU quarterback, was running for his life, and ECU surrendered 6.4 yards per carry to Appalachian State. And we knew that in the preseason. That was going to be the key. Hey, your defensive line has got to get after Holton Ahlers, put pressure on him, because I'll tell you this, guys, I'll be totally honest, just a brief look ahead to this weekend, and some of you may disagree with me. I hate to say this. I think ECU's got the athletes on the outside to beat you. I do. If you're not able to get pressure, I still don't trust the secondary. They've got I'll tell you this, if at minimum, ECU has got enough athletes on the perimeter to give you problems. Let's just put it that way, to give you problems, okay? Getting after Holton Ahlers, living in the backfield, you feel like at the line of scrimmage is the biggest difference in these two teams. Bottom line. And we're talking about an ECU defensive front and a defense that gave up over 200 yards per game rushing a season ago, okay? So on both lines of scrimmage, you need to dominate. Your offensive line, they got to take a massive step from week one to week two. Because, again, we saw the receivers. And passing the football is going to be a little bit of an adventure. This season. So I'd say line of scrimmage, quarterback play. Those are the two most important things. Also, poise. Keeping your poise on the road. Guys, this is a fairly young team in a lot of ways, and an experienced team, I should say. It's going to be a raucous environment. It's going to be a rowdy atmosphere. There's no question. Those ECU fans are going to show up, and they are going to show out. Keep your composure. If you get punched in the mouth early, if you go down early, if something goes against you, if you hit adversity early, stay poised, stay composed, stick to the game plan, and you should be fine. But those three things I'll say, quarterback play, line of scrimmage, and composure. Those are the three most important things this weekend, man. There's just no question. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. No, Lattimore is not on the staff. No. Tyler Knoll says, there is nothing Zeb Nolan can do that Luke Doty cannot. Luke gives this team the best chance to win football games. I agree. And again, I know he's got to go do it on the field, but like I said, Tyler, the guy was named QB1 after the spring game for a reason. He was QB1 all throughout the summer. He was QB1 to begin fall camp. This football team. And that's what I'll be curious to see too. Because I think fans underestimate the importance of that factor that I just mentioned, right? And I'm not going to bring up any past experiences or past quarterback battles, but fans really underrate how important that is. Having a guy under center that your football team believes in, guys. I don't care if you have all the talent in the world. If your teammates don't like you and you can't rally the troops, if those players don't believe in that dude under center, you just don't have a chance, man. If you can't look all those other 10 men in the huddle and command them, command your troops, command your guys, if you cannot do that, you cannot be a starting quarterback, or at least you're not going to be a very good one. You're just not. You're not, bottom line. So I think this decision who starts Saturday is very important because it's going to tell this football team who's our guy. A football team needs to know who its guy is. It just does. A team needs to know who its guy is. Who is our guy? Who is the guy when things get tough, I'm turning to? He's going to be the leader of us. He's going to be the leader of the football team. Everyone on this team can rally around and look to him to be the dude. And since the spring game on, all through fall camp, Luke Doty was that guy. Undisputed, QB1, all that good stuff. Now he gets hurt. Zeb Nolan gets to start, plays really well. But I wonder behind closed doors, has the messaging been and is the messaging still, this is Luke Doty's football team. Zeb Nolan is starting because we need him, but this is Luke Doty's team. Or is maybe Zeb Nolan a lot better than they expected, and he realistically is fighting for that job and to be that leader on the team? That's what I'll be interested to see. Because, again, I just think that's something fans, it's not the first thing you think about when you talk about the position and who's going to start, who's going to play. I think fans don't factor in how much of a factor that is. Because you can have a guy who's more talented than another. But if my guys don't believe in him, not much you can do, man. There's just not much you can do. So, James Wyndham, most important thing this Saturday, every player, coach, and fan should be personally insulted and highly pissed at the opening line on this game. Laser focus in a solid game, spank ass and leave no doubt. And, hey, I tell you this, James, whatever you got to use as motivation and fuel, use it. So I'm sure Shane Beamer and company, listen, they can say they don't pay attention to, like, Vegas lines and all that garbage and all the outside noise, but they know. They see it, man. They see us posting what the line is. They see, they know what's going on. So I think Shane Beamer, this football team, hey, whatever you need to play with a spark, play with an edge, I think they'll use it. Let's see. Again, guys, taking your questions, your comments, and your calls as well. If you do want to call in, phone lines are open, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Hunter Wages text in. Says, would you say the ACC this year doesn't even qualify as one of the best Power 5 conferences or 5 conferences in general? I genuinely think the Sun Belt or America might be better top to bottom. It's tough to say. They had a miserable weekend, though. That's for damn sure. They had a miserable weekend. Drew Taylor, can we talk about what a beast Z White is? And it's probably going to continue to be. Yeah, Zaquandre is good. Zaquandre is a good player, man, no question. I feel very – dude, the entire running back room as a whole, how can you not be excited? How can you not be excited about that? John Gibbs says, bottom line is this. Beamer's going to play the best player and has the best chance of winning. I don't care who it is. Just play the best guy because the last disaster of a coaching staff didn't get that concept. So LeBowen says, Josh Vann is the next Shi Smith. That's a little bold. I hope you're right. That's a little bold, though. Dude Raw for show says, JB, Jason Brown, had a fumble but came back the next series and moved the ball pretty well. I wouldn't count him completely out in TCU. Dude Raw, I respect your opinion. I would. Jason Brown will not see the field. We can have a bet if you want, but I'll go out on a limb and say Jason Brown will not play a meaningful minute of football for South Carolina this year. I'm sorry. If that hurts your feelings, so be it. But that, to me, I think that they're pretty much set on Doty and Nolan. I don't think Brown and Gauthier really factor into the quarterback room at all. Sorry. I just the way I view it. Rob Youngson, how about Va-Tech? Screw the Tar Heels. Indeed. Guys, like I said, a quick reminder. I know it's Labor Day. You guys are chilling, hanging out. Again, thank you all so much for hanging out with me on this Labor Day. But episode 490 of the podcast did drop. Again, highly recommend. We break down everything from over the weekend. The Gamecocks' big 46-0 win over EIU to get the Shane Beamer era started in style. Also, of course, your listener questions, your voicemails, and a really, really awesome conversation. Appreciate him taking the time. Chris Doring of the SEC Network, who, guys, was actually on the call. For the game on Saturday night. He joined me to talk about the game itself. Let's see. Yeah, the game itself, South Carolina's outlook for the 2021 season, Shane Beamer, all that good stuff. So we're going to appreciate Chris Doring, everything he does, and thank him so much for taking the time to join the show. Let's see. Lance, what's going on, man? Lance, great hanging out with you this weekend, and I'll tell you guys this. For those who don't know Lance Player or don't maybe get some of our inside jokes, or obviously if you're not in the Big Cock Club, Busch Lattes were deleted. It was a miserable day to be a Busch Latte or a cold beverage of any kind, my friend. So, Lance, appreciate you coming to the tailgate, man. What a blast. What a blast it was, and we'll be out there each and every single home game. Guys, by the way, quick reminder, any upstate Gamecocks who may be tuned in, watch party this weekend in downtown Greenville, South Carolina, We will be in the upstate. Kickoff at noon, doors open at 11. Again, we will be at the Carolina Ale House, and I've posted the graphic, and we'll be reposting and re-promoting it all week long. But watch party this Saturday, downtown Greenville location at Carolina Ale House. Very excited to get to the upstate, show some love to the upstate Gamecocks. I've had people reach out and say, oh, Chris, that's Clemson country. It's going to be flooded with Clemson fans. Two things. Number one, they play later in the day. And number two, to hell with them. We're going to take it over. We're going to take that damn thing over. It's going to be Gamecocks galore, and I can't wait to watch the Gamecocks get a big dub with each and every single one of you. We're going to paint downtown Greenville garnet, I'll be damned. So it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time for sure. And again, appreciate you all tuning in, the love and support, man. I'm looking forward to all these watch parties. They're going to be absolutely incredible. Also, just looking ahead, we're also throwing a watch party for the Georgia game at the Carolina Ale House in Harbison, in Columbia, South Carolina, locally here in Harbison. Of course, kickoff for Georgia, 7 o'clock. We'll probably get to Carolina Ale House, I'd say probably around 5:30 or so. Going to be a really, really, really good time. Also, guys, just stay tuned for my plans in regards to whether we are going to do a pregame or a postgame show. No live stream watch-along. You know, I love doing the pregame and the postgame stuff, guys, but honestly, it's one of those deals where, and I'll be honest with you all, I noticed this over the weekend with our live show at Jay's, and it was a lot of fun, by the way. Those that came out to Jay's appreciate it. But we spend all week breaking down, previewing, dissecting every single thing you can think about in regards to the game that upcoming weekend. I think it may be more beneficial for us to just throw the watch party or just throw the tailgate and just simply be there and enjoy it. And again, I think you guys would understand that. Of course, I'll still be making content. It's not like we're not making content. But in regards to the live streams and stuff like that, I'll let you guys know. Most likely, though, we'll just be throwing a watch party. If we do anything, it might be a quick 10 or 15-minute post-game show so you guys can either vent or celebrate, and I'll give you guys my, immediate post-game thoughts and stuff like that. But I don't know. Yeah, we're still, Solo Bowen says, yeah, definitely still halftime and post-game videos, no doubt. I'm just talking about specifically the live streams. It'd be different if we didn't do a 2-hour Daily Crow every single day, but it's like we do. So I kind of found myself on Saturday like, man, like we're at Jay's. I'm like, I don't know what else there is to talk about. I mean, we've dissected it all beyond. I mean, we've done all the preview stuff. We've done everything else. So again, you guys just stay tuned. Listen, I know you guys will rock and roll with the punches and support no matter what. But yeah, either way, watch party Saturday, downtown Greenville, South Carolina. We'll be in the upstate. Very, very excited to hang out with and party with some Gamecock fans in the upstate. Like I told you guys, it was something and is something I'm very, very passionate about in regards to, I know there's a lot of Gamecock fans in the upstate that, don't get a lot of love shown their way. That there's not a lot of Gamecock offerings and Gamecock events. And I was like, you know what? Let's head up to the upstate and paint the town garnet and have a good time. So going to be a good time. So going to be a very, very good time. Again, 843-790-3377. Guys, we have hit 1:30. We're going to take our last 5-minute break of the day. Again, the phone lines are open, taking your questions, your comments, your calls, your overall thoughts. How do you feel about the game from Saturday as the Gamecocks begin the 2021 football season 1-0? And Shane Beamer's era in Columbia begins in style. 843-790-3377. Having a Monday. Great Monday to have a Monday here in the Daily Crow, guys. Appreciate you all tuning in. You are tuned in to the Daily Crow. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gents, boys and girls, we are back taking your questions, your comments, your calls, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377 here on Monday, September the 6th, 2021. Happy Labor Day to you all. Folks, hey, take it easy today. Kick your feet up, drink a cold one, grill out, do whatever you want to do. Go out on the water, I don't know. Hey, happy Labor Day, though. Again, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you for making us a part of your Labor Day here. Again, taking your questions, your comments. How you feeling? Gamecocks are 1-0, 46-0 win over the weekend as the Shane Beamer era begins in style. Rail Garner saying this upcoming game is definitely going to be a big one when it comes to us getting a glimpse of who's going to be our go-to guys against decent/good teams. Glad I'm going to be in attendance to see the guys get after. Yeah, it should be a really, really fun one. Should be a really, really fun one. Hunter Johnson. I just got in here and see people talking about what ifs against Georgia. If our O-line doesn't open up some running lanes, we'll get blown off the field. As bad as I hate to say it, O-line has to step up. I'd agree. Yeah, I'd agree. O-line's got to be better than they were Saturday night. I mean, they did enough. The stats, 254 yards rushing, but they got to be even better. They got to be even better, man. EIU was EIU. That offensive line has got to be better than they were on Saturday night. Hampton Brown says, safe to say Jaheim Bell is going to be a stud. I mean, yeah, I tend to think so. I like Jaheim Bell's game a lot. I think that, I talked about, again, the preseason. I thought he could be the Kevin Harris of this season. And what I mean by that is a guy that, isn't being talked about, of course, isn't being talked about nationally. A guy that, nobody's really expecting anything out of. I think he could be that dude that sort of – is he going to have quite the season that Kevin Harris had a season ago? Maybe not, but I could see him being a guy that really bursts on the scene, blows up, and makes a huge, huge impact for the Gamecocks. So really, really excited. Really excited for Jaheim Bell. I mean, he looked really, 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 really good. And I think he's going to be a major weapon and a major part of this offense, no question. Travis said it was nice to see a shutout, even if it was an FCS opponent. Yeah, dude, it's been forever since the Gamecocks had a shutout. I mean, absolutely forever. So, let's see. Miller Time 6289 says, what happened to the Georgia Tech wide receiver? I don't remember hearing from him much. Yeah, Marion only had one catch. I mean, I think it's one of those things. He missed half of fall camp with COVID, missed a lot of spring with injury. We'll see if he can get up to speed. I think you need him to. You need him to develop. You need him to get up to speed. We'll see if he can do it. By the way, this is very random. How about Georgia Tech losing to who did they lose to? Northern Illinois? Dude, there were some wacky results over the weekend. I mean, there were some very, very, very wacky results. It was so strange. So strange. Some of these upsets. I mean, Montana beats Washington, a ranked Washington team. Unreal. Dude, this season's setting up. Maybe it's going to be like 07 was, the craziness. Maybe parity is finally returning to college football. Who knows? Maybe so. Again, 843-790-3377, guys. That's 843-790-3377. Here comes Luke RJ in the comments. He says, if Shane Beamer doesn't beat ECU, then all of that positive energy will go away. He says, will Beamer get it done? I have to believe that he will. So what do you guys think? I'll ask you that. Again, ECU's a favorite right now. Whether you like that or not, whether you agree or you disagree, East Carolina's a favorite. So I'll ask you all. I've been talking about the ECU matchup all preseason long. How big of a game is ECU on Saturday? Because I still think it's a huge game. I still stand by right now. It's the most important game 2021 football season. I still say it's the most important game, guys. I woke up this morning and got on social media. And I love the confidence. I like that we're confident. I mean, I love the fact that we were able to go beat somebody's ass, and now we have some confidence. But looking ahead of this weekend, I think the fans that are expecting this to be a walk in the park and that think we are going to just blow out ECU, I don't know where you're coming from. I don't understand. I don't understand. And again, I would just tell you, guys, it was EIU. I mean, it was EIU. I mean, you really just can't put any stock in that win. I hate to say that, but you can't put much stock in it. Again, do I think that East Carolina should be a favorite? Absolutely not. I think that's crazy to make them a favorite. But, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope we blow them out by 3 touchdowns. I think I've spent the entire preseason fully convincing myself that that is going to be a close game. And I'd be shocked if it's not, guys. I'd be shocked if it's not a close game. I really would. I'd really be shocked if it's not a close game. So, Hunter Johnson says it is a huge game for the season. However, I think we'll cover 2 touchdowns. I hope you're right. Hope you're right, Hunter. Billy Love, again, if you play 4 FCS teams, only one of those games counts towards bowl eligibility, so you can't use that as a recruiting tool. Billy, what? Who said that? I never heard of that ever being a rule because Saturday night counted just as much as Georgia's going to count. So, I mean, I'm maybe you're telling me something I didn't know. Is that a thing? I didn't know that. So, Travi, here's the thing. The spread opened up as South Carolina favored by 2 points. Within minutes, the spread then flipped to East Carolina favored by 4. Now the spread sits, it seems to have settled at East Carolina favored by 2. So that is the reason for the change, if you will. So Hunter Johnson says, I watched ECU play against App State. If it's a close game, I'll be surprised. And again, maybe it's just because I've spent this entire preseason, preparing myself mentally that it is going to be a close game. I fully expect on the road. I think it's going to be a knockout, drag-out fight. I really do believe that, man. I really do believe it is going to be a battle. I think at their place, they're going to treat it like it's their Super Bowl. I think ECU is going to give South Carolina their best shot. There's no question. And so I just feel like, hey, if it happens, great. But for Carolina fans to expect South Carolina to roll into Greenville and just win in blowout fashion, it's a little surprising to me. It's a little surprising. Tanner Poor says, I think if Doty struggled, the coaching staff would be quick to put Zeb in. Well, they've got multiple options now if they want to do it. Chung Boy says, what do you think of our DBs? I thought they played a great game Saturday night. I still need to see more. Again, guys, you're not – it's a fool's errand. I think it's foolish. And James Kendall says, Garnet glasses engaged. I agree. I think it's foolish to leave the EIU game and try to make assumptions and conclusions that, our team is much better than they are because they beat the crap out of EIU. No kidding, they did. Let's jump to the phone lines real quick. Justin, what's going on, my man? How are you?
Not much. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing well. Justin, first thing, it was great to meet you over the weekend, my friend. Thank you so much for stopping by, and it was a pleasure to meet you. What's going on today? How you doing?
Pretty good. Hey, Chris, it's good to meet you too, man. Hey, Chris, I don't think I had missed you in a long time,
Yeah, no, it's been quite a while, and like I said, I thought we had a really, really good time. I thought the tailgate was a massive success, and again, like I said, man, it's very cool to meet someone like yourself that I know has been tuning in for a while, and obviously you call in and to meet you in person. Really, really cool. So thank you for stopping by, and I definitely hope to see you again sometime this season for sure.
Yeah. Hey, Chris. I enjoyed myself the game last Saturday. I had a great time. I saw Copy Easton, it was a fun time because I don't think I had fun a long time,
Yeah, it was fun. That was fun. And like I said, you accomplished the main goal and everything you wanted to accomplish from Saturday night, which was, again, we can break it down and dissect it and get specific in the details and the stats. But goal number 1 was to come out of that game feeling good, positive, optimistic, upbeat, all that positive energy you've had in the preseason. Just leave that game with those same feelings. And I think you accomplished that. Again, is this still a football team that has questions? Sure. But you left that game on after Saturday, feeling like, hey, we did what we were supposed to do. There wasn't a stressful moment in the game, in my opinion. The Gamecocks dominated in all 3 phases from start to finish. And yeah, and it's been a while. It's been quite a while since I feel like all of us could say that we watched a South Carolina game that we felt that way. And that's certainly what you got on a Saturday night. Again, it's going to get much tougher from here on out. But yeah, definitely you marked down Saturday as a success, and no better way, I would say, than to start the Shane Beamer era off the way you did. So.
Oh yeah. Hey Chris, I was watching Florida State and Notre State yesterday. I feel bad for Florida State, Chris. They should have won that game, you know.
Yeah, that FSU game last night, that was incredible. Yeah, that's tough. Tough L. You know, what a game. I mean, what a game it was. Maybe FSU's back on the way up. I'd love to see FSU return to elite status and, give Clemson somebody else in the ACC to have to deal with. I'd love to see it. So.
Oh, yeah. I agree, Chris. Hey, Chris, you need Florida State Miami to get back to be like the promising team again, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, how about Virginia Tech, too? I mean, there's just – you need those traditional powers. I say traditional powers, but you need those teams to come back to relevancy. I mean, just give Clemson a nudge. Give them a push. Just give them a push.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So, but that was that was a hell of a college football game last night. And hopefully Ole Miss and Louisville tonight can live up to, what we saw last night. That was an incredible game.
Yeah, I agree, Chris. And think about this, Chris. The ACCs, they're not out of the playoffs yet, right, Chris?
I mean, I don't want it to happen. I think if Clemson goes undefeated and wins the ACC title, who knows? I hope they're not in, but we'll see. We'll see. It's hard. I'm not going to make any conclusions or anything like that after week one. You know what I mean? It's hard. It's hard to say. It depends on what a lot of other teams do, but here's what's going to happen, man. We're going to get to the end of the season. If they go undefeated the rest of the way out, they're going to try to say, well, we only lost to Georgia by a touchdown. We deserve another shot at them. We deserve another chance. So we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Chris, Hey, Chris, and tonight is Louisville Ole Miss, right? We don't know too much about Louisville yet, right, Chris?
Not a ton. I think Ole Miss is going to win. I think they're going to score a ton of points. So I got Ole Miss in the game.
Yeah, me too, Chris, because we know Lee Kiff is out tonight,
Yeah, I know he's out tonight. Still, though, I think offensively they'll be ready. They'll have a good game plan, and yeah, I think Ole Miss wins big.
Oh yeah.
So.
Hey Chris, yep. Hey Chris, looking forward to our next matchup. We talked about East Carolina.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm very excited to talk that game a little bit later this week. I'm actually going on 2 East Carolina podcasts already booked this week. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge game. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's just a huge game, and like I said, we're going to do a lot deeper of a dive later in the week as we get into Thursday and of course Friday. And but it's a huge game, man. I mean, it's just I really think again the goal this season is 6-6, and there are a lot of games you can lose on this schedule and still get there. I don't see East Carolina being one of them, but I will tell you this. People are upset about the spread that East Carolina's favored, and I said it in the preseason. That win total of 3.5, right? We all thought that was crazy. I thought it was crazy. And what I said, though, was this. Vegas must expect us – they must expect us to lose to either ECU or Troy. Because I was like, that's the only way South Carolina wins less than 4 games. And sure enough, they expect you to – Vegas expects South Carolina to lose. I mean, they wouldn't have made ECU the favorite if they didn't. So, which I'm not saying that even matters. Vegas betting lines don't mean everything. They don't mean everything. They don't mean anything probably to some people. But it is a very interesting indicator of what the thought of the game is nationally, I guess I should say. So it's a huge game. It's a pivotal game. I mean, a fan commented it earlier, and fair or unfair. Unfortunately, I think what the fan said earlier was right, that if you don't beat East Carolina, a lot of those warm, fuzzy feelings from the preseason and a new staff and a new regime, a lot of that goes out the window, man. A lot of that goes – because honestly, I'll tell you this. If you lose to East Carolina, you are staring a 1-3 start right in the face. You are. So you have to – if you're going to get to a bowl game, if you're going to get to 6-6, you have to take advantage of ECU. You got to take advantage of Troy. You got to take advantage of Vandy. You probably got to take advantage of a Tennessee or Kentucky. Split those two. You got to take advantage of the front half of your schedule because we know the back half is a gauntlet, just like we talked about all preseason. So it's a huge game. It's still a huge game. I still say it's the biggest game of the season. So it's going to be fun to break this one down, though, because, like I said, it's going to be a very, very intriguing game, a very interesting early season, early tenure matchup for Beamer for sure.
Oh, yeah. And Chris, the thing about it is you got to be careful with this SS because we see a lot of SS schools upset somebody this weekend, huh, Chris?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm glad Gamecock fans are happy after beating EIU 46-0, but I just what would indicate to a Gamecocks fan that you should be taking East Carolina lightly? The last time South Carolina played a team that wasn't in the Power 5, they lost. It was App State. I mean, that's the head coach at ECU was at Citadel. He was the head coach of that team that beat South Carolina. And you're going on the road. Like, I don't know what would make a Gamecock fan for even 2 seconds think this is going to be some walk in the park. I have no idea. I genuinely have no clue. Like, it might be. South Carolina might show up and wax East Carolina. Might wax them. But there's nothing right now that we know that gives me that indication that this is going to be some blowout. There's just nothing. And again, you can't draw conclusions from EI. Bro, it was like varsity playing against B team. I mean, there's nothing you can really solidly take away. I've had people text me and tell me the secondary is so improved. It's going to be a huge strength. I'm like, are you really going to try to draw that type of conclusion off of EIU, who was pathetic offensively? I'm not ready to do that yet. I hope it happens, but I'm not ready to do that yet.
Yeah, me neither, Chris. Hey, Chris, I try to be careful with points these days,
Careful with what?
I try to be careful with these, don't estimate your opponent,
Right. Don't underestimate your opponent. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, dude, again, and certainly South Carolina will not do that, bro. This is something I didn't expect to be saying, that the Gamecocks are going to be looking for the upset at East Carolina. Who on God's green earth would have thought I'd be saying that? So, but according to Vegas, it would be an upset. According to Vegas. Take it for what it's worth. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what the spread says. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Chris, you just got to be careful.
If South Carolina shows up, plays its game, I mean, the Gamecocks are more talented than ECU. Play your game, play fundamentally sound. I think it'll be a fun day. It'll be a fun day for South Carolina.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Well, Chris, that's hard to say, man.
Justin, I appreciate you calling in as always, my friend. Thank you so much. Have a great Labor Day. Take it easy.
You too. Take care, my brother.
Thanks, man. Later. Good stuff, guys. We got less than 10 minutes to go here on a Monday. This Monday, September the 6th, 2021, Labor Day. Appreciate you all tuning in. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Xavier Hill chimes in. Xavier Hill says, 6-6 is not the goal. It's not the goal, he says. He also says we're not losing to ECU or Troy, and we're not losing to Tennessee or Kentucky. He also says, I don't understand us looking at East Carolina like they're Alabama. They are not. We should destroy them. Xavier, nobody's looking at ECU like they're Alabama, but you shouldn't be looking at South Carolina like they're Alabama either. That's all I'm saying. ECU's not some world beaters. They're not. But neither is Carolina. Xavier, they're not. We're not. Until we prove otherwise, we're not. A 46-0 win over EIU. I don't know if you expected this to be the show that you're going to tune in to the Monday after a 46-0 win over the FCS EIU Panthers. I don't know if you expected this to be the show that I'm going to be pumping. Oh, maybe we're better than we thought. We're 8-4. We're 9-3. Bro, no. We did what we should have done. It really doesn't mean anything moving forward. Just call it for what it is. It really doesn't. Sorry. It just doesn't. It doesn't. Now, I picked South Carolina to win in the preseason. My prediction will come out later this week. But my thought process in the preseason that this is going to be a tough game, it still applies. I mean, there's just nothing that changed. There's nothing I've seen. I know ECU didn't look good, but there's nothing that changes my mindset on this football game. Nothing. Again, is it a game South Carolina should win? I never meant to insinuate if I did that it isn't. It is, yeah. South Carolina, top to bottom, is more talented than East Carolina. There's no question. They are. Look at the recruiting rankings. I mean, they just are, bottom line. But to insinuate in any way that this is going to be some walk in the park, I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Let's see. Corey says Beamer as a coach is on a completely different level than Muschamp. Muschamp just had bad energy and hated his life. That reflects on the players. Oh, goodness. Jimmy Mendillo, podcast I'm going to be on. Yes, I'm actually going on 2 East Carolina podcasts this week. The Sports Objective, which are my buddies. I've actually gone on with them before. I was on with them in the preseason talking about the South Carolina ECU game. And then the Boneyard podcast. The Boneyard podcast, which is an East Carolina Pirates podcast. I'll be chatting with both those guys this week. And, of course, guys, I'll be resharing that on social media whenever we whenever we chat, everything else, you guys will see that. So really, really excited, really good stuff. I'm very excited for this football game. Going to be a very good time. Grown Main Vibes says, the goal is to play our best ever game. We showed heart. ECU ain't no bum team. We got to play it to win it. Yeah, South Carolina's got to play a clean football game. No question. Got to play a good football game. VRT for you from a Hokie. East Carolina's always tough. Shane and company, especially defensive back Torian Gray, know East Carolina well and have both won and lost, and then they will be prepared. Yeah, there's no question I expect us to be ready to go. Luke RJ, going to be a fun week leading up to the ECU game. A lot of questions still for this team. Saturday was fun, but we didn't learn much. No, we didn't. I agree. I don't think we did at all. Again, we had some nice individual performances. We had some guys but again, most of Saturday for me was just reconfirming what I felt like I already knew about this football team. The big question marks going into Saturday are who's going to start at quarterback? Is the offensive line going to make a jump from week 1 to week 2? And can the defensive line carry this defense again? That's what it's all going to come down to. So, of course, there are other things, other factors, if you will, but, let's see. Somebody said, what's in the cup? It's water. It's water. Agua. Let's see. Travi says, have a great rest of your day. Have a great Labor Day. You enjoy it, Travi. Appreciate you. Joshua Jenkins says, Chris, do you think Doty will start if he's better or Nolan? Well, Josh, I think whoever Shane Beamer and Marcus Satterfield feel is better, that's who's going to start the football game. There's no question. They're going to start the guy. They're going to start the guy that they feel gives them the best chance to win. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. There's absolutely no doubt. Chung Boy says, did the defense look faster to you? Honestly, no. I don't know how else. When you're playing a team like EIU, we're a lot faster than EIU. I loved what I saw from the defensive line, attacking. I saw an attacking, aggressive defense. I love that we sent pressure at times. Like I told you guys, I think the defense is going to be improved from last year, no doubt. I loved the way that we played, no doubt. But trying to draw conclusions and say that we're that much better, than last year off of EIU, guys, like I said, just have patience. Let's see it play out. We still have the same question marks. I don't think there's anything that happened against EIU that changes that necessarily. Jimmy Mendillo, last question here, says, who do you want to see start at quarterback? Jimmy, I'll tell you who I want to see. Whoever gives this team the best chance to win. That's it. I don't care who starts at quarterback. Guys, I don't even care who the head coach is. I just want to win games. That's it. But I don't care who starts at quarterback. Play the guy that gives you the best chance to win. Again, there are obvious factors and there's obvious pros and cons to both. There's obvious upside to Luke Doty, what he provides you offensively. I talked about that again. I don't prefer one or the other, but I just have a hard time believing that the best version of this offense and the best version of this football team doesn't come with Luke Doty under center, because like I told you guys, I don't know if it's this Saturday. I don't know when it'll be, but at some point this season, you're going to have to be dynamic offensively to win a football game. You're going to have to be dynamic. And Luke Doty does things that no other quarterback on this roster are capable of doing. And I didn't see anything from Zeb Noland, as good as he played, as clean as it was, as efficient as he was. I didn't see anything that made me feel like walking out the stadium, that guy's got to be QB1. That guy took the job. I just didn't see it. So again, Luke Doty was named QB1 after the spring game. He was QB1 all summer. He was QB1 up until he got hurt. And I don't think Luke Doty should lose his job because of an injury. He was your guy. Is he your guy or is he not? Only time will tell. We'll find out this week. And again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. Episode 490, quick reminder, did drop this morning. Full breakdown of the Gamecocks game Saturday against EIU. My thoughts, reactions, everything. Also, your listener questions, voicemails, early thoughts on the betting line for South Carolina ECU, as well as a phenomenal conversation. Chris Doring of SEC Network. Really, really good stuff. Appreciate him tuning in. So check that out, guys. Stay tuned to all the content, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in and making yours truly a part of your Labor Day, guys. Again, I cannot say thank you enough for the love and support. You guys are absolutely incredible. Till next time, until tomorrow, you guys enjoy your Monday, enjoy your Labor Day, kick the feet up, watch some football tonight. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks so much, guys.